Okay, let's start with Automation Anywhere small business client. Right. So you are able to see this screen, Automation Anywhere client. Right. So this is the version 9 that I am going to share you link to download this Automation Anywhere small client business, and then we move to the Automation Anywhere version 10. So the version 10 is currently the people are using, all the companies are using version 10. So the motive of showing this Automation Anywhere version 9, so that like you can download it as of now, because you don't have an Automation Anywhere version 10 setup, right? So I'll help you to. I am going to arrange some Automation Anywhere version 10 setup, so that like you can download it. So till the time you can use this Automation Anywhere small clients, right? So functionality wise, there is not too much difference between Automation Anywhere version 9 and version 10, but in the architecture level, there's a lot of difference. So I just log into this Automation Anywhere small business client. So I just want to walk through about this client thing. And today I am not going to give any show any code and anything. First of all, like we need to understand each and every functionality of this. What is client and what is control room. So the control room will I will cover in the next section. So first we walk through to the Automation Anywhere client. So whatever you are able to see in the screen, this is the client, right? Where we are doing coding, all, or you can say that we're supposed to develop all the bots, right? So let's start with the file options. So all these options, like I'll brief you what exactly is and where it is used. So if you go to the file thing, here you are able to see the new. So once you click on the new, right, it will give you option. This is the older version, right? I'll explain you in the version 10 also. So this is the option which is giving the web recorder, object recorder, and if you switch to the task editor. I just explain you about the web recorder and object recorder. So web recorder is nothing but, as a name suggests, if you want to automate any web browser, right? So any web browser, that means for the internal explorer, right? Because all the RPA tool only support IE Explorer, right? For the Chrome thing, like you need to add the add-ons. So I'll cover this part in the later session. Like I'm providing you with a brief idea what is web recorder. So if you want to automate any web application, only any HTML parts, then you can go to the web recorder, right? And similarly is object recorder. Object recorder is nothing but to automate any desktop-based application. If you have any desktop-based application, you can record with the help of object recorder, right? But in the Automation Anywhere, object recorder is able to record desktop application also and web application also. They provided the two technology into the one. So sometimes they are also known as object cloning. So the object recorder is also known as object cloning, right? So don't confuse about this object cloning and object recorder. Both are the same thing, right? So this is what it will give you option platform you want to automate, right? So here you can select any of them. Let's say I am selecting this web recorder, right? So you can automate any of the. So here it is giving the URL, right? So the beauty of Automation Anywhere, if you go to the Blue Prism, you need to manually attach the web link. But here, what happens? Whatever the web links is opens in your desktop, it will show you here, right? So right now I don't have anything because it's in Chrome. So all the listed, all the active web application will show in here, right? Then you can select it, or you can give the URL also, right? www.google.com, and you can just simply start the recording and you can record all the objects, right? So this is what the recording type. Let me cancel this. So again, the same thing like object recorder. If you click on the object recorder, it will list you all the objects, right? For the this is my task start. Let's say suppose I click on the start thing, right? So the start menu. This is the start menu which is identifying. And if I save this, right? No object is recorded. Okay, fine. Go to okay, this is a second part. So this is the main thing, like when you are going to start this any recording, this type of recording you need to select. So here in Automation Anywhere, you are able to see only the two types of recorder here, right? But in the Automation Anywhere version 10, there are the three types of recorder. So first is web recorder, second is object recorder, and the third is a screen recorder. So the screen recorder is nothing but like it will record all your mouse movement, right? Suppose if you click, if you're supposed to click on this folder, and you are moving your mouse from this coordinate to this coordinate, right? So it will record your coordinates points. So this is all about the coordinates things, the screen recorder, and I'll show you in the version 10 also. So as of now in version 9, only three recorders are there, right? So this is the web recorder and object recorder. Okay. Okay. So it's, I think it's bit bore. You need to like just bear with me, please, because I am giving you this overview functionality, and later on we'll go to this practical part, right? So this is the shortcut for the record. Control Alt R. You can record directly from this. If you have a copy, if you want to copy here, you can copy this ATMX file, right? And right, it is copy of the files, and where you want to save in any of the location, right? So this is what the copy and rename of the task, right? And whatever the task you are able to see here, this is the bot, you can say. It is ATMX extension, right? So the extension would be ATMX. Just remember, all the ATMX files, it is you are going to create the file which having the ATMX extension, right? This is the extension which is provided by Automation Anywhere. So there are three types of the extension as per, because this is a client, so it is ATMX. So these are the options, right? So if you go to the edit, and there are more, if you want to delete the task, right? So you can delete here. If you want to send this task via the mail, you can send it. Locate on this, that means whatever your task is showing here, you can directly go to the location of the task where it is saved. I click on the locate on the task. So this is the what the task you are able to see here, right? Import table, and it's all are the predefined tasks ATMX files which are located here, right? So you can go here also, and okay, and very interesting and very important thing. It comes into the tools option, right? And this is the option, right? And the very integral part of the any RPA tool is the auto login settings, right? So I'll explain you and give you some small practical things. What exactly is the auto login and why we are using this. So let's consider one scenario. Suppose you have a bot, you're developing your bot, and your bot is supposed to click any object, click any button, right, from the web application or desktop application, right? So in that case, that you are going to, you will record your object, right? And recording of this object, it will take the coordinates also, button coordinates, right? So these coordinates is nothing but your screen coordinates or Windows coordinates. There are two coordinates, right? I'll explain you. First is for the with respect to the screen, and second would be the with respect to the window, right? With respect to the screen, that means your whole screen, this your Windows screen, right? And with respect to window, that means your current active application. Suppose this is my current application Automation Anywhere client, right? So if I resize this, that coordinate will automatically resize, right? But what happens if I go to the screen recorder, because I am using this laptop, let's say it is a 14-inch laptop, right? So if I move to deploy my bot to some 12-inch laptops, that resolution definitely will change, right? So in that case, your chances of bot will fail. So better we can go for the Windows with respect to the Windows. So this is what the concept is. When you record any object, it will take the coordinates, right? And let's say if you deploy your bot to the multiple VMs and your VMs has been locked. Locked, that means it is not active, it has been locked. So your bot will fail. Definitely it will fail because it will go for the object, right? And try to click on object, right? So that required coordinates. But if your screen is locked, how can your bot can capture the coordinates, right? So in that case, you need to auto login your machine, right? So your bot will do auto login and do work and then again log out to your machine. I'll give you an example here. So for any auto login thing, you need to give your system username and password, right? Or at AD username and password. So that password are stored here. Let's say this is the username and this is the password I'm saying. This password is called my Windows password, right? So I need to supply this password in the auto login settings, right? And after providing this user and password of my system, I'll just apply this and then click on OK, right? So, this UI are able to save my credential here. And let's say if I want to run this bot, right? I'm let me run this, and I'll give you information on schedule and trigger also. So let me schedule this. Let me 20 right now 2056 in my machine, 2057, right? And I save it. Okay. Okay, 57 already done. Okay, 58 after 1 minute, right? So here I am providing you this password again, my system password, and I am going to log out. You are not able to see my screen, right, at this moment. I just logged my system. My bot will automatically logged in and then do the task and then again logged out. So this is the concept of auto login. Just wait for 1 minute. I schedule at 2058. So the bot is running, right? So there is some issue in the bot. So bot is running, right? So the concept is that for the auto login thing is it automatically unlock the system which is already locked and perform the task, right? After performing, it will again log your system, right? I'm closing this forcefully. So this is the concept of, so it automatically locked. Okay. So this is the concept of auto logging thing, right? So, because it is very important thing, right? So none of the bot will execute if your VM has been logged out. So this is very integral part of any system. And whatever your question is that for the version 9 difference between version 9 and version 10. So there's one difference I am able to explain to you. Here the auto login, I'm supplying this username and password, right? If you this password is mask password, right? It is not encrypted, and it is saving in this UI level, right? Anyone can create a memory dump and then find out the password. If you click on the task manager, so if you go to process, right? So here the service, right? Auto login automation server dot service, right? So if you click on this and then create the dump file, and if you create the dump file, and it will create a dump file, and you can find out the password easily, right? So this is the loophole and the lack of the security features in the version 9. But in version 10, what happens if you provide the password, it is not saving in UI level, right? Once you supply the password, as soon as you supply this password, it will encrypt your password in AES 256 algorithm and additional with some other salts, and then save it to the credential vault, right? So that password is not going to save in your any UI. It is going to save in the database in a credential vault, right? So there's a major difference between this version and version 10 as per the security point of view. The auto login thing is very important. Without auto login, we are not able to run any of the bot, right? So it's very important thing. So okay, so let's move to the email notification part here, right? So the email notification part is nothing but once if your bot is completed successfully or your bot is failing, or in this case, like you can provide the email notification, and you can prompt any user via email that your bot is running or your bot is completed. So these are the templates for the to whom you are sending, from where you're from to CC, BCC, and subject, and whatever the your body and everything, you can write it here. And these are the some predefined tags here. It will automatically fetch the task name, description, and these all are the properties where this automation anywhere tool is able to fetch and then send in an email. So basically, it is a template, email template, right? So the email setting is nothing but for the outgoing mail servers SMTP and incoming mail servers SMTP. If you want to send any email, then it will record your outgoing SMTP configuration, right? So the outgoing mail configuration that requires a host name, username, and password of your any email account. If you are using your Gmail, then your host name would be imap.gmail.com, and you can uh, uh, provide the host name, right, and a username and a password of your Gmail account. So mostly what happens, the 80% of chances is that uh, in the real practical scenario, the client are not providing this sensitive data, username, password. And because of that, we are not able to use this functionality. So there is a one more alternate way is for the MapEx DLL, right? So MapEx DLL is a wrapper class, and it will not require any SMTP configuration, any username and password. You can simply provide the this host name, and you can directly connect. So these are the two things, like you can do email automation with the help of MapEx also, and second way for the automation anywhere using this email functionality. If your client is providing the username password, then doesn't matter, you can use it. But if they are not providing, then we can go for the MetaBot in the MapEx. So this is again the advanced thing. The later part will most probably cover. So as of now, like we are going through this all the features. So this is what the similarly like incoming SMTP configuration. Like if you want to receive any email, right, you need to have a username password of that. So there are the two configuration, outgoing and incoming mail server. So here I am setting this outgoing mail server configuration, right? So this is all the mail configuration thing for sending any email or receiving any email, right? So is it, yeah. So again, this is a hotkeys. So hotkeys, like you can change your key shortcut key to open, to start recording, stop recording, and anything, and stop task. So you can customizely you can select any of the functions and anything, like you can set here, and you can change it. Yeah. So this is nothing to explain here. So if you go to the view, again, this is all the customization thing. If you want to able to see this player thing, this is known as player, right? Whatever you are able to see here is a player. When you start your bot, when you run your bot, the player will invoke, right? And if you don't want to see this player window, you can just simply off this show runtime window, right? So this is all the customization part. Nothing to worry. Okay. So here is the advanced setting. So as of now, I'll going to explain this application path, what exactly is, and forget about this proxy server setting. So this option is never used, and even though this features is obsolete, even though in version 10 they have implemented this, but there's no use for this in the automation end. So forget about this proxy server settings here, right? So here the application path is very important thing. So whatever the task you are going to create, it by default it is falling in this path location. So this is the application default path location. So if the default path location would be the username, documents, and automation anywhere files. Let me copy this and open the location. Right? You are able to see this. So this is the automation anywhere file, and again this folder is automatically created by automation anywhere. When you click on to open this automation anywhere folder here, you are able to see this all the repository. This is the predefined repository, right? The repository, that means whatever the task you are going to or bot you are going to develop, that task should go to the my task. Whatever if any external script, macro script that falls into my script, right? Any documents, doc files, dependent doc files, if you go to the my docs, any executable files, right? So that wise, so these are the predefined repository. provided by the Automation AmyWhere. Even though like you can create your own repository, right? If you create any folder like as per your convenience, like you can create any folder here. So this is all the predefined repository of the Automation AmyWhere, right? So these all portion I'll cover you. This is nothing much in this, right? So the application path is important. So let's move to the runtime settings here. So runtime settings is nothing but if I say run task as an administrator, like every time it will run your task as an admin without prompting any username and for admin, right? So your task will have the full rights and privileges, right? So sometimes like some application they don't have any full privileges, then it will stuck. So in that case, like you can select this run as admin, run your task as an admin. Your task will by default will run as an admin. So this is what the capture screenshot while running your task. If you run your task, it will capture the screenshot. The screenshot is nothing but to see what exactly happening in your task. So try to avoid this feature because it will take a lot of memory because we're capturing the screens, right? So it will take your memory a lot of. So try to avoid this functionality, right? So again, go to the ROI settings. So nothing worry about the ROI settings. It's a return of investment. Whatever you are developing your bot, it will save your money, right? So the hourly basis rate is 50 US dollar. So as per, if you want to calculate your ROI, then you can use this. So I don't think so. None of the client are using. This is not for the developer point of view, right? So it is just calculating your return of investment, how much you got. So if you go for the server settings, so the server settings is showing up here, and the plugin. So plugin is nothing but if you install this I plugin, right? So you are not able to record any objects in the Internet Explorer. So this is what like you need to install this plugin, or plugin is by default comes in the Automation AmyWhere. So no worries in I, right? So I they do by default they have the plugin that, and you can automatically. So you go to this settings, the web recorder settings. So here, if you are able to see this runtime settings, Internet Explorer timeout 240 seconds. So these are the default timeout settings. Default timeout settings, when I say the default timeout setting, that means suppose if you are recording object, right, of the web application, or you are developing your bot to click any login button in the web application, right? So first is that your web application will launch, right? After launching, it will by default wait for 240 seconds to click any login button. So these are the default timeout settings of any IE, right? So you can change the default settings here anytime. Right? So this is what the default time settings for the timeout settings for the Internet Explorer. So after exceeding this 240 seconds, and if the bot is not able to find out the object, it will fail. Or before 240 seconds, it got the object, then it will bypass and it will not wait for the 240 seconds, right? If bot will able to identify within the 10 seconds, right? So it will move forward on the next step after 10 seconds. It will not wait for the 240 seconds, right? So and this is what the parallel threads to file the broken. So forget about this as of now. I'll explain you later on. And it is very like no one using this thing, file broken link, timeout and everything. So I'll explain you in the later session. As of now, it's very important for the Internet Explorer timeout. So in the interview question, they will ask you, because most of the people are not, even though like the people having experience more than 1 year in Automation AmyWhere, they will not able to explain what exactly the Internet Explorer timeout and where it is. So this is what the concept for the Internet Explorer here, the timeout settings. Mostly the interviews will ask you what exactly the internal timeout settings, what are the default timeout settings of the Internet Explorer. So you can easily explain, go to the tools option settings and the web recorder settings, right? So this is what the options I just explained you. So here, if you have any doubt, like I'll explain you these options, because the main option, important option is that auto login settings, email notifications, email settings, like in the advanced settings, this is all the customization path and web recorder settings. So 3 or 4 settings is very important for you as as a being developer. So this is what we covered the options things, right? So in the tools you can able to see the repository. So I'll explain you what exactly the repository is. So repository is nothing but whatever your task you are developing your task. The task is going to be stored in your repository. Repository is nothing but your task, my scripts, and everything. So this is for the task editor. Task editor. If you click on the task editor, right? This is the editor where we are going to develop our bots. Right? Even the task editor here is loading now. Right? So this is what you are able to see here in the left side. So these are all the commands, right? So when you click on the task editor here, right? Tools, task editor, right? Then it will land you in this window, right? And these are all the commands, right? So here the commands, actual commands, you are going to automate your task, right? If you want to open your spreadsheet, you can simply drag and drop, right? And open the spreadsheet, whatever the path location you can provide it. So these are all the commands and where you are going to actually develop your bots. If you perform any email automation, right? So the host name, username, and password of your email. So this is IMAP. So these all are the settings, right? What I explained here. So simply like I can say, I can explain you about the task editor. Task editor is nothing but to automate to develop your bot in this editor window. This is the editor window, and actually you are going to develop your bot, right? So from the task editor you can do this. And again, there's a lot of things to explain the task editor, and the core part of RPA is for the automation anywhere is a task editor, right? So these are all the core part. Once you are familiar with these tools and commands and everything, then we'll develop our bots, and I'll provide you some small practical sessions to you. Okay. So because practice is very important in this, otherwise you will forget all the things. So do practice a lot of things, and I'll explain it. So this is the task editor what I will able to show you. And so this is the web recorder. The same thing like if you want to record any web thing, like you can record with the help of web recorder. So schedule manager. So this is one more thing. So this concept comes in schedule and trigger, right? I'll explain you schedule. What is different between the schedule and trigger? So if you click on any of the tasks, it will give you the properties, schedule, and trigger. So the property, what are the properties of the task, and how you can schedule, and what are the triggers. So there is a difference between the schedule and trigger. Schedule is nothing but to schedule your task when you're as per your time, right? When your bot is going to be run. So that can be you can schedule your time, date, etc. But for the trigger, you are not going to schedule anything predefined. Trigger it comes in like if any like if you are creating any new folder or new file, right? So in that case, you also make a rule if any new file or folder is created in this path location, my task is automatically triggered and my task will automatically run, right? So there is no predefined time which is provided in the trigger, but in the schedule you need to provide that predefined time and date, right? So if you go to the trigger, you are able to select the type of the trigger what automation anywhere is supported. So if I click on the window title, right? So if your window title, if any window application is open and their title is start or automation anywhere, then your action would what when Windows is open. Like suppose your Windows is open with the window title automation anywhere, then your task will execute, right? So it automatically triggers when this window opens with the same title, right? And when you click on the save button, right? So it will save in the trigger type, right? And also you can see here in the on this schedule manager schedule. Okay, in version 10 it is coming in. Okay, trigger is not coming here, right? Only schedule part is coming here because trigger is not able to, because we are not able to define any predefined time and date. So, right? So trigger will automatically trigger when any of the rule follows. So same ways like for the schedule thing, if you schedule your uh, bot here, like suppose 12:39, 20, right. So I save this, and if you go to the tools and then schedule manager, right? You click on the schedule manager. So here you are able to see this task name, right? Right. So this is kind of calendar, and the task is already been saved here at 9:39 p.m. So your task will automatically execute at this time. So all the schedule things we can able to see here from the schedule manager, right? So this is nothing but an Outlook, whatever the Outlook we are scheduling your meeting. So all the calendars are the similar way it is working. Right? So so let me explain each and everything for the trigger also. So trigger is for the Windows based window title, right? Second is file, like file name. Suppose you are providing the path here. Let's say if I providing path here, uh, open this. So your action. So in this path, in this file name, if your file is created or deleted or renamed or modified, any action will perform. It will trigger your bot, right? So similarly, like for the folder thing also, folder name also. So you can provide the folder name, and when any file is created, deleted, renamed, modified, right? Files and folders. So anything will happen as per the business rules. If your business rule says that your file should be uh, created to the particular folder path location, then your bot will execute. So in that case, you can trigger your bots, right? So these are all of the trigger functionality. And second, one more important thing is for the performance thing, the CPU performance. Like if suppose your CPU use is above 90%, your bot will execute, right? So there would be one more use case in that. Suppose your while executing your bot, your CPU consumption becomes high, right? More than 90%. So in that case, you need to trigger up, and you need to develop a bot that will release all the memories, right? So once your CPU uses triggers more than 90%, then it will automatically kill all the unused or used objects to reduce the CPU usage. So these are the scenarios, like what exactly. So this is very good thing and very important, and none of the RPA tools providing so much in depth as compared to the automation anywhere. So for the schedule, most of the RPA tool they're providing the schedule, but for the trigger thing, like none of the RPA vendors are providing other than the automation. So so again, this is all are the self-explanatory thing. Even though you can also explore by yourself also. So this is what the triggers and schedule. And schedule is nothing but you can schedule your task daily, by daily, weekly, monthly, one time only. Right? When I log on my system, it will schedule your task when my computer starts. Right. So this is what you can schedule at monthly basis or weekly basis. So this is all the type of scheduling, right? It's a very interesting and very easy thing. Yeah, you can do. And if you have any issue while performing this, like just let me know. I'll provide you solution for this. Right? So let's move to the properties thing. Yeah. So again, this is a very important thing. So if you click off any task and you are able to see the property of your task, right? So here currently it is general, right? The section you are able to see in the left side is general. So in general, you are able to see the file name. This file name, the ATMX file, the creation date of the file name. What are the last status of the file of the bot? If you click on the view log, you are able to see this view log. If you click open to the view log, you are able to see how many times the task has been executed. So what are the status of the task, and and what are the error message and what are the results. So these are the all maintained by this logs are maintained by this automation anywhere. So as per the task level, you are able to see your task status, your job status, right? And repeat, do not repeat. I'll explain you what exactly is do not repeat message. So so this is what the status last run, right? And the task report. Here the task report you are able to see that keystroke total 4 and total clicks 4. So when your task is executed, your task perform 4 keystrokes and 4 clicks. Keystroke is nothing but is mimicking your keyboard, right? So this is the task report what you are able to see here. So once your bot will execute it, it will give you the number of mouse clicks, how many mouse clicks are there, number of keystrokes, how much keystrokes it used, a total number of clicks, events, right? So these are the all the task reports and everything. And queuing thing is don't go for this queuing thing. I'll explain you later. It's not very much important in the automation anyway, right? So as of now, like the file created status and this last and task report, it gives you the overview properties of your task, right? So let's move to the repeat option here. Do not repeat, repeat until I stop it, repeat for. So do not repeat, that means when you execute your bot, it will execute in one time only, right? If you want to repeat your bot number of times, if I say I want to 10 times, right? So once you execute your bot, it will execute 10 times, right? So repeat until I stop. So by default, like once user will enter me, then it will stop, right? And repeat for it hours, minutes, and seconds, how much hours and how much minutes and how much time it will execute your task, right? So these are very simple things. And repeat option here, time between the repeat options. Upon error, continue with next repeat, right? If any error happens in your bot, whether you want to continue with next repeat or not, right? So let's say suppose if I executing my bot for the one time, right? Suppose I repeat 2 times, right, for a single bot. First time it executed and it gives an error. So naturally, what happens? Your bot will stop executing because your bot fails. But in that case, if you select on this upon error, continue with next repeat. That means even though your bot will get failed, then also it will execute for the second time, right? So these are the difference, and you can be able to explore all the things. Not much. And do not repeat. You are here in the general. I have shown you this view log. So here it is showing this do not repeat, right? So this is what the status coming from here, from this setting. If you say this repeat, then it will change, right? So if you execute, then it will not show the repeat here. Do not repeat. So this is coming from this repeat option. Speed are the replay speed. Replay speed are 3 types of speed. You can see the standard, replay, high speed, and turbo speed. So these are the speed which define the execution speed. And as per your choice, you can increase your or decrease your bot execution speed, right? So it's nothing much in that. Similarly, it is in the Blue Prism also. You are able to see this later on. Once we completed this session, we'll go to the Blue Prism also. Okay, so let's move to the notification part. Notification part is nothing but if you are getting any email, your task has been completed, your task has been failed, so you can provide the email notification and everything. So notification are the same thing that I explained the tools option. So email notification, the same part are which is coming from here also, right? So hotkeys, I'm clicking in the hotkey and I selected this F3, right? So this is my hotkey, and I selected this task. So the advantage of this hotkey is that even though if I close this client, right? I am closing this client, right? So let me close this. Okay. Now my Automation Anywhere has been closed. You are not able to see here in the Automation Anywhere client, right? And if I click on the press any hotkey, I selected the hotkey F3, right? I'm pressing this my keyboard F3, right? So once I press this F3, the bot will automatically execute. See, the bot is executing there, right? So it is the keystroking, right? So you are able to see in the player side, line number 21 of 41, action, what are the current action, delay, keystroke, right? So, so these are the, so all the things like, I'll give you practically how we develop and everything. So this is what the uh, uses of hotkeys here, right? So let me open this client. So, so this is what the hotkey here. And if you go for the security part, the security part is in version 9, there was a security thing in the properties, but in the version 10, it has been completely vanished. Because security part is what, like, suppose I'm giving, suppose I want to deploy this loops.atmx, what in your machine, right? And I don't want to expose all the ATMX file data to your user. So in that case, what I will do, I'll set the password for this task, right? And then deploy. So in that case, when the bot is going to deploy it in your machine, then it will prompt for the user and password, right? So in that case, the owner should comes in your system and then supply the password, provide the password. Then only your bot will execute. So these are the way, like in the version 9, they are providing this, but in the version 10, it is totally completely obsolete, and all the password is going to save in the credential world, right? So this is what in the version 9, the password, which while running this, while editing the task, you can provide the password and confirm the password. So no need to worry about this security part in that version 9. So, and even though like we are not providing any password thing in the bots in the version 10 also. So no need to worry about this thing, but for your information. So anyone like you can also explain about this, like what exactly in the version 9 they have the password security things in the bot level, but in the version 10 it is not. So this thing that thing, like you can explain to anyone who want to ask any questions about this automation.